What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the session. I'm your boy King. I'm with you. Appreciate y'all for listening. Before we get started, I need to ask that y'all like, share, and subscribe to whatever format you're listening to this on, whether it's on the computer, whether it's on your phone, whether it's on YouTube. I really, I appreciate y'all support. I appreciate the listeners and the feedback. I mean, for real. Just in the last week and a half, I've had 3 or 4 people come visit me and they just tell me like, man, I listen to your podcast and they get it, and that's what's up. So please subscribe or favorite, on whatever platform that you're listening to, whether it's Anchor Radio, Google Play, Apple, iTunes, or just whatever. You know, I'm here, Spotify. Appreciate y'all listeners, but I need y'all to start subscribing and liking. But anyway, let's get into it. This week we going over traveling. I in the last year have been probably out of the state every month. And I know that sounds crazy because we're in the middle of a pandemic, which we should be at the end of it. It should be over, but regardless. The pandemic shouldn't stop you as far as traveling. Because there's ways of getting around the pandemic and traveling. Like you can do it safely. And I think for the most part, that's what's killing a lot of people's spirit and what's got a lot of people down about traveling. But today, I'm gonna give you some tips on what I do to pretty much feel safe and travel safely. So the first step, you have to be diligent or vigilant about staying clean. The people that travel, everybody got their own mindset on what they want to do and how they do it. So a lot of people are still kind of careless when it comes to handling their baggage or moving in and out of buildings. So just be cautious. Try to use automatic doors, carry bleach wipes, keep hand sanitizer on deck. Make sure that if it's your stuff, you less hands as possible touching it. So don't ask another person, hey, can you hand me that bag? Or don't ask a person if they can help you put this up. You got to dig deep, man. You got to do it yourself. If you got too much stuff, stop traveling so heavy. Travel light. Keep smaller bags. Keep a rolling luggage instead of a big heavy luggage. Because those type of things, you got to be cognizant of where before you would ask, your Uber driver or your cab driver, hey, can you put this in the bag for me? Do it yourself. And when you do it, keep bleach wipes on you in like a travel size pack so that you can always, take one out, wipe down the handle, or wipe down the trunk lid if you need to. Like, yeah, it sounds crazy, but literally, this is what I do. I'll wipe down door handles for the doors at hotels, rental cars, seats on the plane. Like, I literally wipe down the entire section on the plane, whether it's the seat, the tray, even if I'm not using a tray, the handle to the tray, the ceiling, the buttons up top, the wall, the window. I wipe everything down with bleach wipes. And one, it makes me feel more comfortable. But two, it just makes me feel like whoever was laying here or whoever had their head laying on the, window of the plane or was putting their hands on the thing, they probably didn't wash their hands. So I feel a little bit safer that I'm able to, get that cleaned up or whatever. Because I know, like, the people who work on the airplane, which I don't want to call them stewards, I don't want to call them none of that. The people who work on the plane, they're not doing it. And I get it, they don't get paid enough. They're not sanitary workers or sanitation workers. Word. But it's still your job, and it still should be your responsibility to make sure everything is clean around you. But that's whatever. I'll take that responsibility. Now, my second tip is make sure you keep both cash and a card on you when you travel. So, yeah, you got the cleanliness stuff out the way, but then you go somewhere and you realize they're not taking cash. Damn. So you got to have your card on you. Now, besides just a debit card, try to have a credit card. Or if you got enough cash, put it on a prepaid card. Hopefully you can get a prepaid credit card. But if you can't, get the prepaid debit card and keep that. so that if you do need it at a hotel for deposits, if you need it for food or whatever, you got it. But also keep cash on deck because you might come across situations where they don't have the Wi-Fi or the internet systems available, and they gotta take cash, or they only taking cash, and that's definitely going on right now too. So the conveniences that we used to have just last year or the year before, a lot of that when you travel isn't always going to be there because of communities and how they've been impacted with the COVID-19 virus. Whether it's companies just closed down, so they don't have as many companies to provide Wi-Fi or POS systems, or you have people who are strictly going to POS, so they're not dealing with cash at all, and they don't have change, they don't have anything. You have to be ready for all that. So that's my second tip. My third tip, if you're gonna travel, make sure you have everything you need so that you don't have to do any extra stuff besides what you plan on doing. So now I make sure I have the toothpaste, toothbrush, brushes, blah blah blah, everything packed away, nice and neat. Because the convenience of going to the store, I just go to the store and get some soap, or I go do this. Man, that's over. You could do it. You definitely could do it. It's always there, but you have to remember wherever you go, restrictions and everything might not always be the same. So some people wear masks, some people don't. Some people, you know, are cognizant. Like when I say some people, I'm talking about people that work at the stores in which you always try to dictate. Oh, I'm gonna go to CVS. I'm gonna go to Walgreens. I'm gonna go to Walmart. These places are filthy now, and for me, that's a big deal because I'm already risking it traveling to another state in which, they always asking you to quarantine and get tested and all that. So if I know I have to do all that, I need to act accordingly to reasons why they're asking you to do all that. And most of it comes from because people are nasty in that region. So you go to the city of Chicago, you got a lot of fast paced and moving people. Everybody ain't washing their hands. Same with New York, same with Florida, same with LA. You have a lot of unsanitary people who live in these areas, and the spread can be controlled if those people, took care of themselves. But can't bank on what people may or may not do. You can only do what you can do for yourself. So take that into consideration. Take that into your thought process when you're moving around and grooving. Like you can still go have fun, but it's best to bring the stuff with you that you need. Unless you like, okay, I'm going to a location in which there's a lot of conservative minded people, or a lot of people that not conservative. Sorry, there's a lot of responsible people who want to take care of themselves, i.e., older retirement communities. A lot of people think about those people, so now you waitresses and waiters and gas station attendees are being more cognizant of their audience, so they will wear gloves or masks or whatever and make sure that they're sanitizing. Where you go to areas where there's a lot more younger people, they ain't cleaning nothing. They're not cleaning a damn thing, which you gotta expect. That's what people do. People cater to the people who come to them, and if the crowds and the people are anti-maskers, then they're gonna be an anti-masking situation because you can't force people to do anything, especially if they're paying. I mean, you can ask and you can require it, but then you're just getting a lot of Karens running up in your spot, complaining about masks. So you pick and choose the battles and the headaches. And I'm coming at you as you being a traveler, not the people in charge. So always think about that stuff, like these 3 tips. And I mean, I can go on forever, but I'm gonna guarantee you that number one, making sure you keeping yourself clean and the stuff around you clean. Number two, having the cash, or having cash and card on you. And number three, making sure that you're going with everything that you need anyway. You'll be straight. It don't matter where you go, because to be fair, it's not as many people traveling anymore, so it's a lot. It's easier to manage moving around and doing what you got to do and keeping everything clean, because you don't have a lot more people around you, if that makes sense. Like, the more people, the more clutter it be, also the more germs. So with most airlines that I've been on, they're keeping seats open, or they're keeping the middle seat open, or they're keeping a row open somewhere or another. But if they're not, I'm not flying. Like if you putting people on, all packed in, there's no mask requirements, there's none of that. I'm sorry, man, I can't fly with y'all. And that's something too that in the future you as a traveler got to take control of, because like I've been to just this year Florida twice, California twice, Arkansas, Mississippi, Chicago. It's just not this year. I'm sorry, last year. But I've been to all these places, and South Carolina. Um, but these places have all generally been the same. The hotels will be cleaned for the most part, and the airline will be clean for the most part. But it was on me to clean up behind it and make sure that it was really clean. So even if they had a basis already, even if they were like, oh yeah, we bleach wiped or we sanitized or we did this, yeah, all right, I got you. I'm still finna clean up behind you, because even after I leave here, you're gonna have to clean it again. So let's just make sure it's clean. But if I can't trust you and it wasn't clean, it is what it is. It's clean now. So those, that's just my way of safeguarding, because what can you do? You know what I mean? If you catch it, it's a wrap, and you can't go back and sue them, because they're gonna tell you, well, you shouldn't have been traveling anyway. They've already alleviated themselves of the responsibility by telling you it was a travel advisory and that you could possibly catch COVID-19 or whatever while you out here. But we know this already, because it's the same thing that happened with if it was flu season, if there was Ebola out, or if there was anything. Like, they're never going to be responsible for you catching something. You're responsible because you were out here. Just like a car insurance, whatever. Like, if you get hit in the car company could always, the insurance company could always tell you you're in the wrong for just being on the road, because you are. You're putting yourself at risk of being hit just by getting in your car. Just like getting on a plane, you put yourself at risk of it crashing. But do you expect to get a lawsuit settlement for you dying in a plane crash? Probably not. Unless they can prove it was on purpose, and even then, it probably won't happen. So take responsibility for you. Traveling is fun, and I'm gonna be fair. With things closing down, with things not, necessarily being open to capacity like it should be, I myself have found traveling to be a great way to decompress, to be an awesome way to network and meet other people that really do what I do. Um, I remember going through California, walking around vlogging. I met other people that were vlogging. They were asking me about my setup and about my rigs and what I had going on. And it led to me improving my rig, because I didn't know anything about metal rigs or anything about microphone stands and stuff like this that I can get and travel with. I thought all this stuff was studio stuff. I'm gonna have to get a gimbal. I'm gonna have to be like this big monstrosity, walking around looking crazy, holding it with two hands. Where no, I can get a one-handed setup, or even use it with a selfie stick, and it's still safe and secure. So if I drop the camera, yeah, I might damage my lens, but the camera itself has a little bit more security. So stuff like that, I don't think I would have learned sitting in my city. I had to travel to see and experience it. Now, it might not be the same for everybody. I know COVID affects other people, have affected people to where they don't want to travel. They don't want to be in the house. But to me, that can lead to like a depressive state. And I don't want that for anybody. We all have our trials and tribulations. We all have our troubles. And for me, traveling helps me alleviate a lot of stress as well as conversating. But at the same time, that's my experience. That's what I do. And I'm not everybody else. So if it's for you to do it. But be confident and do it, and do it safely, because it's possible to do. Like I said, I've been to a few locations this year, and I promise you, each time that I went, I felt comfortable coming home. I never had any bouts with Corona while traveling. I had one bout of Corona, and that was being at home. And I understand it why. Because I felt comfortable where I was, and I wasn't being diligent. I let my guards down. Where when I'm out of town, I've already a natural germaphobe, but I'm on point because one, I'm out of town, and two, it's in a pandemic. So I need to make sure that I'm not bringing home anything to the people that trust me when I go out of town. So that's the biggest deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just make sure that I make sure that I'm taking care of myself. And when I go out of town, I have a lot of fun. Mainly because I'm making sure I took care of myself. And so, yeah, recklessness is maybe it's too because I'm older. But recklessness, when it came to vacationing back in the day, I kind of feel like it's out the window. You know, if you're still doing it, you must be from Florida or New York. You know, but I definitely know for the most part, a lot of people, even in Atlanta and Texas, they wearing masks or they washing their hands or they, carrying some hand sanitizer, all because you've seen it or somebody close to you has probably been affected by it. So it's not nothing that nobody has to like convince a lot of people. Oh yeah, the virus is real. No, the virus has been real. It's been real for a while. So now is our time to beat it and get over it. But we can't change what we like doing just because it's a virus out here. We got to keep living. So my advice: get out here, y'all. Hit these streets because I'm in these streets too, and enjoy yourself. Or at least try to, because anybody else gonna do it for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's on us. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna wrap this one up this week. But like I said, I appreciate everybody, all the support. Um, if you haven't, go to the website kingthebarber.com. The Kings Never Bow T-shirt is available. I have the Queens Never Bow shirt coming. It was already designed and is out here, but I'm gonna present it this week, and it'll be for sale this weekend. So y'all stay tuned. Be patient. I appreciate the patience. I mean, oh my God! Like, if you only knew how much work it takes to get a lot of this stuff going, it is a lot of work, but it's worth it. It's like you said, I'm already in business, so it's just adding on to what I already do. But if you're new to the channel, if you've never watched the video, trust and believe there's enough motivation on my channel to let you know that when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it because it's a group of people behind me that's definitely there with me doing it. And I'm proud of all of us, but at the same time, I can't let them down just like they won't let me down. So shout out to everybody involved. Y'all know who y'all are. See y'all next week.